It's 6 o'clock. We'll call the Personnel Committee to order. First, in your packet is the minutes from November the 6th, 2023. Give you time to look over it, get approval. All in favor, say aye.
Mr. Chair, hang on just a second. This is my fault because I did the minutes, but I can't count. Members present from that last meeting should say 5 of 6, not 4 of 6. And then that first paragraph where it says a quorum was determined with 6 members, that should be 5. That's my fault.
Thank you. So with the corrected information, who approved and okay, second, okay. Discussion items, A, holiday pay. We have in a packet, the holiday is to be paid on the basis of an employee of 8 hours. Open up the floor for discussion.
This question was raised during the budget hearings as a part of the overtime budget issue that the county's had the last year or two. But that's why this is in front of us tonight, to be looked at. The question was raised, so that's why it's here tonight.
Go ahead, Mr. Clerk.
I mean, as it states right now, it says that a holiday is to be paid on the basis of the employee's typical workday. You got different employees working different hours. You got 8 hours. I think there's a few 10s maybe, and there's 12 hours. To me, that is the fairest way to pay out holiday pay.
So if you work 12 hours, you get paid 12 hours the day before and the day after.
Get 12 hours.
Mr. Chair, I just can't see taking any money out of people's pockets. With the 2.5% that went in this budget, which is roughly, you round it out, it's 50 cents an hour for people, $1,000 a year. These people come to where they're good to, they've relied on this all day stuff. With that being, I want to make a motion, if you'll take it.
Yes, sir.
Leave it as it is.
A motion is made to keep it, the holiday pay as it is now. And I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. And then so we started 2 parts, this holiday pay. Or just one? We're done with the holiday, yeah. Then B would be sick leave policy, personnel policy section VE4. Any discussion on this?
Just a question.
Go to C. Okay, we'll skip down to C, have special pay provisions. Okay, thank you, Amy.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
just a question on the holiday pay. I understand the rate of pay being the employee's typical workday, but does the holiday pay calculate into them being able to get overtime that week if they were off for the holiday. See, I think that may be where some of the confusion is coming in. If you pay holiday pay at the rate of pay that the person would have been paid if they worked, I don't think that should automatically credit them to be eligible for overtime if they picked up an additional day or more hours in their regular shift. I think a paid holiday, especially if you're not having to work, should be calculated accordingly as what it is, a typical work day. I think we are compounding it a little bit by allowing it just to go as straight time. But for instance, if I was scheduled for 40 hours during the week and I worked my shift, but there was a holiday in there that's on that pay period. Well, now instead of just the 40 hours I worked and getting 48 hours straight time, my 8 hours of holiday pay, I made time and a half. I think that's where the confusion may be coming in. And if it is that way, I agree that if a person works 10 hours a day, that maybe their holiday pay should be 10 hours. But for it to compound and then not just get straight time for the day that they were off work, but they get time and a half.
Anybody else want to reply to that?
Brian, working patrol, could you not get overtime every day you work in a 2-week period?
Yes.
You could actually get it. So with this overtime, you'd forfeit your overtime or you'd forfeit your holiday. Is that what you're after, Mr. Dennis? Because patrol could work every day of the week overtime.
Well, not necessarily forfeit the hours, but for those hours, not necessarily to go toward time worked. That the holiday be just straight time and then the employee's hours, and if they worked 42 hours that week, actually worked 42 hours, then yeah, pay them their overtime for the extra 2 hours, but don't pay them 14 hours of overtime because of the holiday pay. At time and a half. Pay them their straight time for the holiday pay. But I think where we're getting into is all the pay is getting lumped into one, and then we're paying time and a half on holiday pay. I don't know what the mechanism is that needs to be put in place to calculate that differently, but I believe that's what's happening. And for it to be holiday pay and you're off, straight time is fine. You should get straight time.
That's fine.
But time and a half is the question. But because I think that's how it's being calculated right now.
How's it being calculated?
So I'm looking through the policy right now, and I did find on page 16 of our policy under overtime, employees must work 40 hours before overtime takes effect. Vacation, sick leave, and personal time will not count as time worked for overtime. Only holiday, administrative leave, and military leave will count as time worked. So by that statement, we have to include holiday in the calculation for overtime. So I believe Mr. Dennis is wanting to change the wording on this paragraph right here to where holiday would not be included as time worked, but would be in this, included with the vacation sick leave, and not counted as time worked for overtime. Is that correct, Mr. Dennis?
I just believe that that's more fair. Because it's a holiday. You're not actually working, in the effect that you're not actually working that holiday. I believe straight time is fair.
But if you are working, let it go with the time and a half. Hours actually work.
So if you work the holiday, again, you would have an extra 8, 10, or 12 hours on your check that week. But you wouldn't have gotten it at time and a half.
That's taking time and a half away, but you're still getting those straight. You're still getting straight time. But instead of if you're out on 4th of July, you're getting that straight time instead of time and a half. The person that's working, making their salary, when they receive their check, they're going to have an extra shield on their check, as straight time, as extra rather than time and a half.
Well, that's a totally different section here than what we got here to go over. We'll have to have something in front of us. Be able to go over that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
already been a motion and a second made to keep it as it is. Just something to look at going forward.
Okay. So anybody got anything else about holiday pay?
Something we'll take a look at. So for next month, we'll look at it in the language, fix it. Yeah, absolutely.
Or is that something that we just want to let go altogether, just move on to motion second? It is. Well, however it goes, we still don't have to have it in front of us. So,
Yeah.
unless they go next time.
Well, if you want to push it off, go with go with my motion, and then you put one in about bringing it back to us this month. I'm good with it. I'll say if you want. Bring it back next month, but keep my motion in effect. Keeping the hours as they are. Yes. You raised the question about the time, keeping it, or changes. Yeah.
So what's the will of the body?
I think we need to look at it again next month. Bring back page 16 with personnel committee, and then we'll go over it then.
Okay. But the motion that we just voted on can stay. Okay. So we'll look at it again at the next month's meeting. 3B is sick time. The proposed statement, employees who have used all their sick leave will not receive financial compensation for additional days needed due to illness or injury. Or change to, for any additional time needed, the employees must exhaust their accumulated vacation leave before employer can consider leave without paid status.
They've exhausted all their. If they've exhausted all their sick leave, what kind of financial compensation would they be getting?
So if all sick leave has been exhausted, they would roll over to vacation leave at that time. If all vacation leave has been exhausted, then it would be leave without pay.
Is that not how it is now, Amy?
Well, and that's why we were bringing this forward. These two sections pretty well contradict each other. So we were wanting to add the wording to the top paragraph that, okay, you've exhausted your sick, you still have vacation, you can't take leave without pay. So we're trying to get you to exhaust what you already have built up, so you're not just banking it for a later time. You need to use the leave that you have accrued if you're going to be out of the office.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
this proposed wording is almost verbatim than to any other place I've ever worked.
Or do we want to keep it as it is?
Motion to approve with it amended.
Second.
And all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried. I don't see any members of the public for comments. Anyone else have anything? Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask the committee, since you are wanting to look at another topic next month, if you wanted me to hold the ordinance change for what you just voted on until we reviewed that particular matter and have it all together in one ordinance. I'm just asking the committee's opinion on that.
I would hope it.
Okay, so we'll pick it back up at next meeting. Yeah. A Thursday would be good for me. Maybe the 11th or the 18th. Okay. Mr. Dennis,
Either's fine.
Mr. Whitaker. Let's go for July the 11th. 6 o'clock. Or anything else that we need to bring up? Motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.